Hey all, so in this video we're going to be looking at an overpowered Zane build that you can use in true Vault Hunter mode on Mayhem 3. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know if you want to be in the running to win a few different codes for Borderlands 3, that includes shift codes and one game code, what you'll need to do is go down and subscribe to the channel and also check out my Instagram, which is linked in the description. I'll be doing all that very soon. But anyway, we're going to be looking at a custom build that I've made that has taken some inspiration from other builds that have been floating around the internet, but I personally believe this is the strongest build you can do if you're looking to spec out his cryo. So this build is essentially called the Pompeii build. So the reason I call this the Pompeii build is because you'll find yourself turning a lot of the enemies you face into frozen statues. Now when they are in frozen statues, you'll do increased damage to them due to the way you're going to build your tree. So the more enemies you freeze, the better it'll be. Also, when you do manage to have them frozen, you'll also gain other perks like lifesteal and increased damage. That's not overly as important as the damage, but it's still definitely a feature. Now one of the best parts about this build is if you don't have any cryo guns, don't worry about it because your skill tree is going to do all the work for you. But either way, you can still use cryo guns and cryo effects and shield mods and grenades and pretty much anything you want because it's still going to help you out. Now the two main guns that I thrive off of in this build is the Arctic Dauntless Nighthawken, that is a yellow submachine gun that has a lot of cryo efficiency, and the Lucian's Cool with the cryo effect. Now, I do find the Lucian's Cool and the Dauntless Nighthawking to be possibly the best you can use for this build, but I am open for ideas, so if you are trying this build out and you've got some other guns, let me know, I'll be interested to try them. And as well as that, I do also have a rerouter as my shield, just so I can do some more initial damage when I take that first shot, and I also have a cryo variant of the Cloning Hex. The Cloning Hex is amazing. If you can get a cryo variant, that will really help you. But as I said, none of this is essential, so without further ado, I'm going to go on to the skill trees now. So first of all, we're going to focus on the green tree, and that is going to be your barrier. I do want to note now that none of your perks are going to be maxed out, so you're not going to have a master perk for anything. But honestly, once you get into the build and you start using it, you're going to find out that it doesn't really matter. So what you're going to need to do is spec 5 out of 5 into Adrenaline. That's going to give you an increased action skill cooldown rate, which is very important. After you've done that, you want to spec 5 out of 5 into Brain Freeze. Now that means whenever you score a critical hit, it's going to slow down enemies until they freeze. Now that is going to be your main form of doing cryo damage. Most of the time when you shoot someone in the head, they're going to get frozen. And that is the sole reason why you don't actually need any cryo weapons, because this is going to do the job for you. So once you have done that, what you're going to need to do is spec 3 out of 3 on Hardy Stock, 5 out of 5 on Ready for Action, move on down, go to Confident Competence, go 1 out of 1 there, move on over to Futility Belt, go 1 out of 1 there, move over to Cool, Calm and Collected, max that out 1 out of 1, then finally go over to Refreshment, then max that out 3 out of 3. That's going to give you lifesteal, which is going to keep you alive a lot longer. For your bonus effects on the shield, it doesn't really matter what you use. I like to use Deterrence, Field and All-Rounder. Again, it's completely up to you what you use. And once you've done that, equip that to your primary slot. After that, move your way over to the blue tree. Now this one doesn't really matter too much, and it's a little bit different from most builds. First of all, you're going to want to max 5 out of 5 on Violent Momentum. What that's going to do is give you an all-around plus 20% gun damage when walking. After that, do 5 out of 5 on Salvation. That's going to give you some extra lifesteal that keeps you alive. Go 1 out of 1 on Drone Delivery, so you do manage to throw out some grenades, and then go 1 out of 1 on Death Follows Close. That's going to give you some extra skill bonuses and also some skill durations. Now to give you that extra cryo damage, what you're going to want to do is equip it to your secondary slot, give yourself the Winter's Drone perk, which is going to convert all damage to cryo, then after that, add Bad Dose. That'll just make enemies weaker and make you that little bit stronger. Who doesn't like to be strong, right? Then finally, move on over to your orange tree. We're going to invest a little bit of time and the remainder of our perks over there. What you want to do is do 5 out of 5 on Synchronicity. I'm sure you all know what that does. Invest 2 out of 5 on Borrowed Time. That's going to give you some extra duration for your shields and your Sentinel drone. And then finally, max out Donnybrook. That should be all of your skill points right there. So essentially, once you've done all that, I'm going to cover the build you've made. So every shot you do is pretty much going to freeze an enemy, no matter the situation. Once you freeze the enemy, you're going to have increased gun damage, increased lifesteal, and all-around perk buffs. So to maximize this build's efficiency, what you want to do is keep your Sentinel and your shield out as much as you possibly can. That's going to increase your damage. Also, try and aim for the head every time you do manage to shoot people. As long as you hit criticals, what you're going to do is send them frozen. Now this works extremely well if you're playing solo, and it's also very nice as a team build. If you do manage to have a strong enemy, all you'll need to do is freeze it, then get all of your team to focus on the frozen target. That'll whittle them down pretty quickly. So in my opinion, this is the strongest Zane build you can possibly do. Again, this is very opinion based. You may like it, you may not like it. If you do manage to use this build, what I want you to do is go down to the comments section and tell me what you think of it. If you have any personal suggestions, I'd love to hear them as well, because I'm very much open to learning new builds. And also, if you're looking to score a copy of Borderlands and some free shift codes, what you can do is head over to my Instagram and follow me there. If you do manage to get picked, I'm going to reach out to you privately on Instagram and get you to send me a screenshot of your YouTube channel, just to make sure you are subscribed. So anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed the video. If not, please leave down in the comments a suggestion on what I can do to make these videos better. And with all of that being said, good luck out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.